Be prepared for something new. Everyone is different. So are you. Stay straight. No masquerades. Do things that you'll remember. You can push too far, but stay fair. Stay on track. Give it your all. Get to the bottom of things. Decide what's right. Don't believe in what the others do. Find it out for yourself. Be close to it all. Bring your heart along. Follow your goals. Reach for the stars. Turn the weekend into the loudest party of your life. Are you prepared?
Well, hi everyone. We are prepared for the final showdown for DTM for 2017. Qualifying for race 17 is about to get underway here at Hockenheim, of course. It's where the season started, and look at the queue of cars waiting to make it out there on track to put in their qualifying times. And there we can see Matthias Ekström then. Is he heading towards another championship win? Well, as we look at the car of Marco Wittmann, the BMW driver, just preparing himself ready for qualifying here at Hockenheim. It's been a phenomenal season of DTM race action, that's for sure. And of course, it's all going to be played out now as we get towards deciding and finding out who will be champion for 2017. René Rast then, who will chase as hard as he possibly can. Currently P2 in the points, and there is the number 22 car then of Lucas Auer, of course, the Mercedes-Benz driver, who at points during the season has looked really, really strong, but when it comes to the points haul, not quite enough has been done. Although mathematically it is still possible, you have to say that it's looking likely for Matthias Ekström or René Rast in the Drivers' Championship. Alongside me is Alex Toril. Welcome to the commentary booth. And we're looking at the number 5 car there of Matthias Ekström, who, of course, does look like he's in a fairly commanding position. In free practice, it was he that was quicker than René Rast. I don't know how much difference that makes, but what a difference it makes for Audi, because the top 4 in free practice this morning were all Audi drivers, and Matthias Ekström was the 4th fastest in free practice. He will go into this feeling quite confident, won't he, Alex?
Yes, for sure. I think this is always playing into your hands, having a good free practice, having a good feeling for the car, would always play you towards qualifying. But honestly, watching the season we had in DTM, with up and downs and fast cars and slow cars and weights and no weights and everything you can imagine, can everything happen?
The drama.
I think it's still open. We cannot even ensure that Audi will win or any. I think it's completely wide open. It can be Mercedes, can be BMW, Lucas Auer, Marco Wittmann. They are still possible, available to get to bank some points. It's hard, will be really hard. We have 3 Audis in the front, but I think it can't be any more emotional. We see Jamie Green now also setting up the brake bars from here in the 53.
And of
Audi.
course, he's P3 in the championship, isn't he, the British driver Jamie Green?
But just behind him, 3 points behind, is Mike Rockenfeller, which also is going to push as hard as he can to get this, try to get into this DTM podium, even in the championship. I mean, if we have Matthias Ekström with 2 DNF, and we see green light goes on.
But here's a question, please. Audi got 4 drivers in the points, in the Drivers' Championship points, top 4, okay? Now, each and every one of those drivers is going to want to win it, isn't he? So what I'm trying to say is, you know, Matthias Ekstrom might not get help from the likes of René Rast, Jamie Green and Mike Rockenfeller in the races.
This is wide open. I mean, depends on the brand, what's their focus. If they say, no, we want to ensure this, we want to bring it home, let's say this, then maybe they have some trim strategy, or maybe they say, no, it's free to go, everyone can race as much as he wants. So, as I said, I think it's everything wide open. We cannot discard anything, we cannot ensure anything. We just need to let surprise ourselves, because I'm really sure this race will surprise us. It's been doing the whole season throughout DTM.
You're absolutely right. Well, race one, of course, will come up a little later today. In the meantime, we have got the cars going out for their qualifying sessions right now, and this will set the grid for race number one. On board with Matthias Ekstrom. Look at that, he's working on the brake and the accelerator pedal at the same time.
It's warming up really good, those tires. Remember, this year, new regulations we had at the beginning of the season, no tire heaters, so drivers go always out on cold tires, so it's up to the drivers to warm up the tire, to bring it up to temperature.
There's Jamie Green then making his way out onto the track, and there too is René Rast. I spoke to him in a press conference yesterday, a media conference yesterday. Of course, René Rast and Loic Duval joined as effective rookies at the beginning of this season. And René Rast's performance, wherever he comes in the Drivers' Championship, Alex, has been utterly remarkable for a rookie to do so well.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. He adapted himself really, really nice to this DTM car, to this new Audi RS5 DTM. So, like you were saying, amazing performance by René Rast. We know already he's a really talented driver. He's been racing many series and always successful, from Porsche to endurance racing, also a lot of GT racing with Audi. And like you were saying, it's a really good performance from him in his first DTM season. We know how hard is DTM.
So there is Matthias Ekstrom then on his way out on qualifying. He has the Nico Müller car behind him. So it's a short, sharp qualifying session, of course, merely 20 minutes within which to set the grid for race number one to come up a little bit later today. The conditions at Hockenheim here, as we look at Lucas Auer hard at work then, the Austrian driver for Mercedes-Benz. I think for me, it all went horribly wrong for Lucas Auer at the Nürburgring with, you know, it was Hero and Zero taking the win in race one, but then P13 in race two. And then, of course, P8 at the Red Bull Ring and a DNF in race two. So Timo GLOCK's car in the pit lane now. Another change to the DTM regulations this year. Only 2 engineers allowed to work either side of the car with regards to those tyre changes. So Mike Rockenfeller puts a 143.439 on the board for us. So Mike Rockenfeller then, who is P4 in the Drivers' Championship. We once again run the clock on Mike Rockenfeller. Loic Duval in the number 77 car is ahead of him there, as you can see. Making a way around the Parabolica now. Mike Rockenfeller to the outside of Loic Duval. This is qualifying for race number one. So Rocky now, heavy braking and a lock-up going into the hairpin. That will have compromised this lap for Mike Rockenfeller. Whether his entry to that was perhaps compromised by Loic Duval. He had got past Loic Duval, but whether that meant he didn't have the perfect line going into the hairpin, the one that he wanted for this quali session, well, Augusto Farfus is currently the fastest with a 142.56, 140.256. Here's Mike Rockenfeller then, who's quickest through Sector 1 and Sector 2. And bear in mind, we think that probably Rocky has got the ability to do better, because there was a lock-up and also running out wide, almost onto the AstroTurf there for Mike Rockenfeller in the Audi number 99. Previous time a 143.439. There is that lock-up, and as I say, that may have only cost a couple of 100s, Alex, but in DTM that is critical, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. This is the up to the 10th, or not even the 10th, up to the 100,000. So we might see a difference maybe between P1 and P5 of less than a 10th. We've seen this already in a few races this season, and it's crazy how close the grid can be. So I guess every driver will go for this 2 attempts situation we've been.
Yes.
So already people put in some really good first sector and second sector, so they will do. So purple for René Rast in sector 1 at the moment. They will do this first time. A little bit of locking, but this is nothing to worry about. That means he's really on the edge of the tires at the moment.
Yes.
So as I was saying, first attempt maybe around 10 to 9 minutes to go. They will come in again, change to another set of tires, and go for the second attempt towards the end of the time of this 30 minutes qualifying. Excuse me.
Augusto Farfus is topping the table at the moment with a 132.062. Then it's Mike Rockefeller. Then it's Robert Wickens, a 134.615. Edo MORTARA, Paul Di Resta, Marco Wittmann, Jamie Green, René Rast, Loic Duval, and Nico Muller rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Don't read too much into that because the times are going to come tumbling down. We're on board with, or we're tracking René Rast now, who's done PBs in Sector 1 and Sector 2. He just gets knocked down to P11. But this will be a goodish time from René Rast. Not going to be necessarily troubling P1, but it's going to be an improvement. It is P1 because he put it all together in the final sector and made it purple. But quickly relegated by Marco Wittmann, who goes fastest, and Mike Rockefeller as well. 131.178 for Marco Wittmann, a 131.476 for Mike Rockefeller. Jamie Green now goes third fastest with a 131.528. So already, as I predicted, we see the times really tumbling down. But
Purple sector 1 for René Rast, 19.745. Faster than anyone in the first sector. Matthias Ekström just 10 slower than René Rast, going a little bit wide into this hairpin, but that doesn't mean it's the bad line, because you can carry a little bit more speed if you go a little bit wider and you keep the momentum of the car into qualifying lap.
The dial that Matthias Ekström was adjusting just going into the hairpin, I think I'm right in saying that that adapts the brake bias from front to back, yes?
Yeah, front to back, back to front, depends which way you turn it around. And we see Matthias Ekström just, let's say, making the lap of René Rast as a reference. It's a really good thing when we see Timo GLOCK making a super sector 1. He's at the moment lying in the last position, but I'm sure he will jump. Lucas Auer now,
wow,
P1.
131.118 from Lucas Auer goes P1.
Jamie Green coming also in a really good lap time, really good sector 2, purple for the British driver. Now Maxime Martin goes purple sector 2, but sector 1 is not so good.
René Rast being told to box, and here's Jamie Green then on a good lap, as Alex indicated. He's done PB in sector 1 better than anyone across sector 2. From P7, Jamie Green goes to P1. So Jamie Green with a 130 is the first sub 131 time, a 130.770. So here comes Timo GLOCK. Is Timo GLOCK going to better that? So Timo GLOCK on the splitter cam. We're with him now as he heads towards to break the timing beam. Timo GLOCK goes from P18 to P2 with a 138.36.
What to watch is now Bruno Spengler coming. He goes P2. Stands behind Jamie Green.
I think, yeah, everything looked quite okay. How was the tire warm-up and balance?
So engineers then on to Timo GLOCK to ascertain how everything was performing. We're watching Lucas Auer now. He's currently P4 with that 131.118. Is this going to be an improvement from Lucas Auer potentially?
Not really.
Not so. Not so.
Improving on the lap time, but not on the position.
No. Gary PAFFETT P8. So here comes Matthias Ekström, then 2 BBs in sector 1 and sector 2. Whoa, car just got out of shape on the exit of the final turn. And that cost him dearly in the final sector, didn't it?
Yeah, not the great lap. Whoa, look at that drift.
Well, we saw it, and we were on board with Matthias Ekström as he was controlling that car, and that cost valuable time for him. And that means that Matthias Ekström at the moment is merely P11. Jamie Green is the fastest with a 130.770. Then it's Timo GLOCK, Bruno Spengler, Lucas Auer, Maxime Martin. Robert Wickens then PB in Sector 1. Sector 2 was not anything to write home about. Around the bank section now with 2 turns left to do for Robert Wickens, who's currently P10, and this may not be an improvement for Robert Wickens. It
comes to the box.
Yeah, it's the lap is bailed anyway, and he comes into the pit lane now. And what I was saying, I mean, we have only got 9.5 minutes of this qualifying session left remaining. So basically, the drivers coming in now, and they will go out for, they'll get one more run, really, won't they?
Exactly, they will get one more run, one new set, another set of new tires.
Sector 1.
See now, engineer,
1.5, Sector 2, Sector 3, 110.
Telling me Matthias Ekström where he's losing time or missing time compared P1. So we said 110 Sector 1, 110 Sector 2, so it's telling him where he needs to improve a little bit. Yeah, everyone is in the pit now. So definitely, as you were saying, they will get new tires and go for a second shot, second and final shot.
Yes. So the Matthias Ekström car then making its way down the pit lane now. And the AB team then will go to work on the car.
Just behind Wittmann.
Push the car back into the garage, just 8.5 minutes remaining. This is a brilliant live shot then of Matthias Ekström's car being pushed back into the garage. So the order then at this stage, it's Audi, BMW, then it is Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, so the rear left, I'm suffering a bit from, I think, too low pressures. More front axles to survive.
That was interesting, Renny Rast saying that, you know, thinks he's suffering from too low pressures on the rear.
We'll reduce the rear wing by half a degree.
And super slow-mo of Jamie Green then. The British driver who is fastest at the moment ahead of Timo GLOCK, who is P2. And Bruno Spengler, who is currently P3. There is the Bruno Spengler car. So Mike Rockenfeller then on his way down the pit lane and out again with 7 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. The Team Rosberg car of Jamie Green then, who is currently the fastest, 1:30.77. Luke Sauer, the best of the Mercedes drivers, is at P4 with a 1:31.088. So preparing to go out once again. Here comes the Renny Rast car.
So 1 and 2 is worse on your fast, and that's why I show you the last one.
Now, by getting out onto the track now,
I mean, you get now at the moment there is zero traffic. Everyone is in the pit lane. Beside Mike Rockenfeller, who is out, and now René Rast. We will have some traffic. Oh, we see Antonio Felix da Costa in the BMW box.
Mario Thiessen there.
Mario Thiessen as well. So as I was saying, now you have less traffic. Everyone will be coming out of the box in the next, I think, 40 seconds to 1 minute. So at the end of the day, you need to find your place on the racetrack.
Becomes very busy, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Becomes very busy indeed.
Especially cars, when you go too early and there is no one on the track, you might have 3 laps, but then when you start to have your tires into temperature, is when the other drivers are coming out of the racetrack really slow, and then you start to catch a lot of traffic.
So Lucas Auer we're on board with now as he makes his way out of the pit lane and back out onto the track then with 5 3/4 minutes remaining. So Lucas Auer then, the driver of the Mercedes-Benz number 22. And Mike Rockenfeller weaving from side to side, trying to generate temperature into those tires. Edoardo MORTARA.
Almost half a lap behind you.
And Matthias Ekström then, the team radio engineer. So Mike Rockenfeller now. Parabolica, just warming those tyres, the weaving from side to side, and And of course, critical also, Alex, isn't it, to warm the brakes, because the heat generated by the brakes dissipates into the rubber of the tyre.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the basics about warming up tires. You need to brake, you need to warm up your tires by warming up your brakes or braking more. So this, like you say, this heat goes into the wheels hit the air in the tire, and this hit the rubber. So, Jamie Green is under investigation because of blocking. Let's see
this is
what is related this incident. So remember, he went in front of I think it was Matthias out of the box. I don't know if that's maybe to do with Mortara.
Apologies for the colourful language.
You have 8 seconds behind you.
Edoardo MORTARA feeling aggrieved then that Mike Rockefeller is hampering him. Well, once again, apologies. Edoardo MORTARA then.
8 seconds, the RESTA.
So Mike Rockefeller is lit up now. Edoardo MORTARA, as we've heard, has been lit up for the last few corners, hasn't he? Feeling that, of course, he's been blocked by Mike Rockefeller. We'll see if Mike Rockefeller goes under investigation for potentially blocking Edoardo MORTARA. Of course, race control listen into the radio traffic as well, don't they? So Mike Rockefeller then. Jamie Green is the quickest to 1:30.770. Bear in mind that Jamie Green is under investigation for blocking in the second half of this qualifying session. We've got only 3 minutes remaining. Just 3 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. So Mike Rockefeller then on his way into the stadium section of the circuit now, but more of a technical section here at Hockenheim. Loic Duval gets well out of the way of the Mike Rockefeller car.
Copy, Mike. Copy that.
Sometimes a little difficult to understand the team radio. Regrettably, we heard every word of what Edoardo MORTARA was saying. On board with René Rast now. PB in Sector 1 is heading up towards the hairpin now. Heavy braking from René Rast. Turns in, tries to get as much traction and momentum as he can off the back of the hairpin. You can see the Tom Blomqvist car behind, but this is René Rast that we're tracking now.
So really good sector from René Rast. Really close to the best overall from Timo GLOCK before.
So we'll see how the lap time as he crosses Sector 2 line, a 43.320.
It's missing 3/10 to the best sector overall. But like I said, it's the first lap. They're starting to push. Tires are starting to come in. So he will have another shot. It's 1.5 minutes to go when he passes the line, more or less.
He will have time, won't he? But he will only have time for one more.
Maybe 2, depends how. Yeah, I think he will have time for 2.
Yeah, you're right.
He might have really tight time for 2.
Ooh.
The faster he drives, the more time he will have.
It's going to be tight, isn't it? Rast has gone P2. Here comes Matthias Ekström then. Now, Matthias Ekström is only going to get one more lap, isn't he?
Yep, everyone from now on will get only one more lap.
So Eki then goes P12 to P4. So a big improvement from Matthias Ekström. Now this is the lap that will count, because there will be no more for Matthias Ekström after this lap. On board with Timo GLOCK now.
Really good Sector 2.
Yeah, Sector 2 is strong. Sector 1 not so brilliant. Bear in mind Timo GLOCK is P3 in any event. So Timo GLOCK goes from P3 to P1. So he's knocked Jamie Green off that top spot for the moment. We have merely 40 seconds of this qualifying session remaining. Here comes Maxime Martin. Again, Sector 1 not brilliant for this BMW driver, but Sector 2 was. So Maxime Martin ready to break the timing beam now. And Maxime Martin goes second fastest with a 1:36.85, 1:30.685. Here comes René Rast then. P2 in the Drivers' Championship, bear in mind. The higher he can put himself up the grid, for the race to come this afternoon. Critical it will be for his championship charge. And Rennie Rast does not improve, stays P4. Here comes Jamie Green. He's done better than anyone in Sector 1. Sector 2 was compromised. The checkered flag is out, and Jamie Green stays P3. It's a non-improvement from Jamie Green. Matthias Ekström, what can he do? Well, not improved enough. It's P8 for Matthias Ekström.
Okay, Box Matthias, you are currently position 9. Some cars are still improving.
Mike Rockenfeller with 2 BBs through Sector 1 and Sector 2. He's currently P7 with the 130.900. Here's Mike Rockenfeller then heading for the timing beam to break that now. And he improves 1 place. He goes now to P6. We follow the Mercedes-Benz of Robert Wickens now. Again, no, he's dialing out of the lap. And Rennie Rast then P4. So the order then is Timo GLOCK, Maxime Martin, Jamie Green, Rennie Rast, Edoardo MORTARA, Robert Wickens, Mike Rockenfeller, Marco Wittmann, Nico Muller, Matthias Ekström, P10, Gary Paffett, P11. Then it's Bruno Spengler, Paul de Resta, Augusto Farfus, Lucas Auer, Torrid, P15, Tom Blomqvist, Mauro Engel, and Loic Duval. So Timo GLOCK then, again, showing extraordinary pace, Alex.
I mean, front row from BMW, followed by 2 Audis, followed by 2 Mercedes.
Yes.
So 2-2-2. Strange that Robert Wickens was coming in a PB lap and pulling to the box.
So their confirmation then, Timo GLOCK, P1, then it's Maxime Martin, Jamie Green, Rennie Rast, Edoardo MORTARA, Robert Wickens, Mike Rockenfeller, Marco Wittmann, Nico Muller, Matthias Ekström rounding out the first 5 rows. Before we then see Gary Paffett and Bruno Spengler, Paul de Resta, Augusto Farfus. Then it'll be Lucas Auer, Tom Blomqvist, Mauro Engel, and Loic Duval. So bear in mind in the Drivers' Championship the difference between Rennie Rast and Matthias Ekström. It's 1.72 for Eki. It's 1.51 for Rennie Rast, and Rennie Rast is significantly up the road in comparison to Matthias Ekström in terms of that qualifying. Timo GLOCK is pretty happy with his car. It's delivered a pole position for him. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, and the one who struggled compared to the qualifying, we know from the beginning of the season is Lucas Auer down in P15.
And there you can see his very car being pushed back into the garage right now. And there is the Mike Rockenfeller car. It's P7 for Mike Rockenfeller. There's Jamie Green then, P3. So second row start for Jamie Green. Extracted from that car a 130.770. Super slow-mos are the top 3 then. And going from P3 on the grid, it's Jamie Green. P2, BMW, Maxime Martin, a 130.685. Timo Scheider in there salutes Maxime Martin's lap time. And P1, worshipping the car, if I may say, when he came into Parc Fermé, Timo GLOCK. Lost none of his skill, has he?
No, he's been always quite fast here at the Hockenheim.
Yeah.
It's no surprise to see him in the top step of
qualifying.
He's
done it, hasn't he? A 130.648, but as always, you know, it's 0.648 playing 0.685. It's 100ths. It's that close in DTM. I mean, the top 12 cars all in the 130s.
Yeah, this is what I was saying at the beginning of the session is between P1 and 10, it's 3/10, and if you look at the top 5, it's really, really close.
Well, here comes the starting grid for race 17. Front row, it's an all BMW affair. It's Timo GLOCK and Maxime Martin going P1 and P2. It's an all Audi affair for row 2. It's Jamie Green, P3, Rennie Rast, P4. Then it's an all Mercedes affair for the third row of the grid. Edoardo MORTARA, P5, Robert Wickens, P6. Then we muddle it up a bit. It's Mike Rockenfeller, P7, and Marco Wittmann going from P8. To the fifth row of the grid, we find Nico Müller and Matthias Ekstrom. Didn't extract the time out of the car that he would have liked, probably. Gary PAFFETT goes from P11, then it's Bruno Spengler, P12. Then we find Paul Di Resta and Augusto Farfus on the 7th row of the grid. And to the 8th we go, where we find Lucas Auer, P15, and Tom Blomqvist, P16. Mauro Engel and Loic Duval round out the grid for race 17 to come a little bit later this afternoon, live from Hockenheim as the DTM Championship reaches its conclusion, and we follow Matthias Ekstrom down the pit lane now. Just think that he would have liked to have extracted a bit more out of that car than he did. Drivers all being weighed. Gary PAFFETT congratulating Timo GLOCK and Mike Rockenfeller to the left of your picture, just walking past our camera. And there is the car that has delivered the pole position for this afternoon's race. Timo GLOCK, a 1:30.648, and truly was very grateful to his car. Congratulated by Jamie Green, as you can see. This was Timo GLOCK on his way. Join us for the race. Bye-bye.